What if Anakin went to Kashyyyk instead of Yoda? After Anakin receives his seat on the council, but is denied the rank of master, the Jedi Council has a few operations to discuss. Ki-Adi-Mundi brings up the droid attack on the Wookiees, and Windu believes it's crucial an attack group is sent there immediately. Yoda thinks for a moment and speaks up.
Skywalker, your first task this will be. To Kashyyyk you will go. Liberate the planet, you must.
Anakin nods, not expecting to get this task so soon. His anger at being denied the rank of master remains. He feels insulted, betrayed, but knows he cannot ignore a command. Anakin is fairly hesitant at going, but knows he doesn't have a choice. That prior night, he had nightmares of his wife, Padme Amidala, dying in childbirth. This can't be happening, not again. He needs to find out how he can save her. However, he has no options. He wanted the rank of master, allowing him to search the restricted section of the archives for clues. But now, after his denial, all hope is lost. Unless, he thinks that maybe, if he wins the Battle of Kashyyyk and then brings an end to the Clone War, the Council will grant him the rank of master, and then he can study the Jedi archives to save his wife. He doesn't have much time, and must act hastily. Anakin brings Rex and the 501st with him to Kashyyyk, and they fight alongside Luminara Unduli and the 41st, led by Commander Gree. They have been fighting there for months, and are excited about their reinforcements. Anakin Skywalker was the hero of the Clone War, and his arrival on the planet has motivated the troops. Shortly after they arrive, they are quickly thrust into battle. The Separatists target the planet's oil refinery and begin invading the shores. Anakin leads the defense alongside Tarful. The battle was brutal, grueling, and savage, with many casualties on both sides. The smell of burnt metal and the deafening cacophony of warfare filled the air. Anakin fought valiantly, taking out his frustration on the droids, and together, alongside the Wookiees, managed to hold off the Separatist invasion. They won this battle, but not the campaign. It's lasted months and isn't going to end after one battle. In the original timeline, Order 66 occurred halfway through this battle. However, now that Anakin is no longer on Coruscant, Palpatine cannot manipulate him to his side, and thus, the order hasn't been placed. It's gotten to the point where Anakin is necessary for his long-term plans, and he can't complete the purge without him. He must work to get him back soon. He just hopes the turmoil of his nightmares will continue him down the dark path. In the original timeline, Padme gave birth to the twins early, due to the stress of Anakin's betrayal, as well as the medical droids attempting to save the babies before she died. However, if left naturally, it could have been weeks before she gave birth. Over the coming days, many battles are fought with victory and defeat on both sides. The campaign is going to be longer than Anakin thought. His plan to end this quickly is unlikely to happen. He calls to Padme via a hologram that night, vowing to get back to her soon, and it's obvious her baby bump has gotten bigger. The focus of the Jedi Council right now is finding General Grievous. In the original timeline, they found out where Grievous was the day after Dooku's death from Palpatine. However, Palpatine wouldn't tell them in this timeline because he wants to delay the war as long as possible to allow for Anakin's return. He already ordered the haltering of Kashyyyk's campaign. However, with Dooku's death, his means of fully controlling the Separatists have diminished, and knows the Council will have him remain in case of a surprise attack. The attack has been planned for months, and it is the most important battle in the Clone War. There is no stopping it now. It takes the Jedi around a week to track down General Grievous' location on Utapau, and the Council decides to send Obi-Wan Kenobi to face him. This has Palpatine panicked. He must prevent Grievous' death at all costs, as his death will signalize the end of the war, forcing him to relinquish his emergency powers in the Senate. It's been impossible for Palpatine to get Anakin back on Coruscant. The Kashyyyk campaign is currently the most important battle in the Clone War right now. Kashyyyk was located at a strategic position along a junction of hyperspace routes, allowing the Separatists to control travel through the mid-rim. Anakin is the Republic's best Jedi General. There is no way to call him back from this crucial battle without justification. Palpatine planned for the Kashyyyk campaign to draw Yoda off Coruscant, knowing his past history with the Wookiees. He has no idea why they sent Anakin. Did the Council want Anakin off Coruscant? Are they aware of his plans? No, they couldn't be. This line of thought is destructive, and Palpatine moves on. He's still worried. He senses he's in trouble. Meanwhile, on Utapau, Obi-Wan successfully kills General Grievous and reports this to the Council. The council members on Coruscant congratulate Obi-Wan, and Windu and Yoda decide it's time to go to Palpatine and make sure he returns emergency power back to the Senate. They contact Senator Ainley Team and Bail Organa to assist them. Mace and Yoda, alongside the other council members, Kit Fisto, Agen Kolar, and Saisi Tin, enter Palpatine's office with a few senators. Mace proclaims that General Grievous has been killed and the war is over. However, the Chancellor now must return emergency powers back to the Senate and ensure a swift return to democracy as soon as possible. But if he fails to do this, he will have no choice but to arrest him. Palpatine snarls at Windu, a response they weren't expecting. He's been completely cornered. How could he mess up like this? His plans have been perfect for over 20 years. How can it fail in the last moment? No, he thinks. There is still hope. He has the ace up his sleeve, Order 66. There's still a slight chance he can do this without Anakin. But the boy must die in the purge. Otherwise, he will seek vengeance. Palpatine stands up.
It's treason, then.
He activates his communication system, linked to every clone commander around the galaxy, and mutters the words.
Execute Order 66.
Yoda and Mace stumble back in pain, and Palpatine capitalizes on this. He screams towards the Jedi, cuts down Agen Kolar and Saisi Tin. He goes to swipe at Windu, who blocks at the last second. Yoda defends the senators, and the 4 remaining Force users engage in battle. Palpatine has been planning this for years. However, he planned for only one of Yoda and Mace to be present. This is a key part of his plan. However, with both of them there, as well as Master Fisto, he doesn't stand a chance. Halfway through the duel, they stop, and Palpatine and Yoda stare each other down. The symbol of light and dark in the Force.
Sidious, your true form. Finally unmasked, have we?
He snarls at Yoda, telling the Master he has and will always be Sidious. Palpatine holds his own for a while, but eventually succumbs to the lightsaber of Master Yoda. Meanwhile, around the galaxy, the Jedi are dropping like flies. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka successfully survive the purge, but many Jedi don't share the same fate. On Kashyyyk, the clones Anakin had commanded over 3 long years turn on him, attempting to take his life. He looks to his left as Luminara Unduli is shot down in cold blood, and Anakin realizes what is happening. The clone army has turned against the Jedi. He efficiently blocks the blaster fire whilst trying to reason with his men, but eventually realizes it's no use. He doesn't wish to kill his clones, so makes a distraction to escape. He meets with Chewbacca and Tarful, who thank him for his service on Kashyyyk, and they arrange transport for him back to Coruscant. Whilst flying back, he thinks of his apprentice and Obi-Wan, praying they haven't fallen. After Palpatine's death, Yoda, Mace, Organa, and the other senators rush to call an emergency Senate meeting. They explain the events that have transpired, the end of the war with Grievous's death, Palpatine being a Sith Lord and attacking the Jedi, as well as Order 66 and the clones turning on the Jedi. However, technically, he hasn't done anything illegal, so the Jedi provide all the evidence they've collated over the Clone War, showing Sidious being behind both sides of the war, and now they've finally linked Palpatine to Sidious, with a confession on video during their duel from the man himself. This is accepted by the Senate, and Organa calls for Order 65, which is voted for by the majority. This underdoes Order 66. The clones stop killing the Jedi. However, the damage has been done. Anakin returns to the temple after Mace and Yoda come back from the Senate. They hold an emergency council meeting, broadcasting to the rest of the Order about the events that have transpired. Anakin has his hands on his head the entire time. He can't believe his mentor, Palpatine, was a Sith Lord, and he was attempting to groom him his entire life. This makes him think. Anakin hasn't had a nightmare since the first couple he had on Coruscant before he left to Kashyyyk. Maybe Palpatine was the one planting those dreams in his mind. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. He ponders this thought, but then feels it through the Force, all the way across the planet. He stands up and looks outside the window, and his feelings are confirmed. He excuses himself from the meeting and heads over to his home. He catches Padme, who he hasn't seen in over a week, heading to the hospital as her water has just broken. Anakin is extremely nervous over the following hours. The time he's been dreading the most is upon them, and he has no way to save her if the worst happens. The Force will be his guide. However, Anakin has nothing to worry about. Padme gives birth to the twins successfully, Luke and Leia, and the Skywalker family has begun. For the time being, Anakin has no plans to tell the Order about his children, but knows when they start showing signs of being Force sensitive, he'll have to make an important choice: accept them into the Order and take them away from their mother, or leave the Order himself and move away with his family. In his heart, he knows what he'll do, but for now, he'll continue to live in the moment through the Force. With Palpatine's death, the galaxy is at peace. The Republic is restored, with true democracy, free of corruption, returning to the Senate for the first time since Darth Bane's death a millennium ago. The future is bright, and most importantly, Anakin finally has everything he ever wanted. Thanks for watching, guys. Please consider supporting the channel by becoming a member from only $1 a month, where you get sneak peeks into new video ideas and thumbnails before anyone else. Please check out my other videos if you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all next time.